Once again, good afternoon, grade 12. Welcome to our life sciences lesson. Our lessons keeps alive lessons which are brought to us by VT Africa Holdings in conjunction with their subsidiaries Fibotech and Fastotech. Last week, I did invite you to log on to our details. Today, I will not invite you to log on. We are going to do the assessment together. The I'm going to do for today. Apologies. Let me just take off my for now. So log on tomorrow for an assessment that I have put up for you. So as I promised, we did it, but we didn't get enough time to go it through together. Let's just do a quick revision. Also what we've covered thus far. The first question said you were giving just a definition. You give the answer to the statement that I had put up. My apologies for not giving enough instructions. So you give a one-word definition to the answer. And let me say you did very well. I had a couple of learners who did join me and did the assessment. The response was quite good. You are doing very well. Alternative forms, first alternative forms of the same that occur in the same place on the chromosome. That's the definition of a gene. So I was looking for gene. DNA, which one because DNA, near the whole strands, we find genes. Next question. Genetic composition or makeup of an individual is the genotype. If you say DNA, I would also accept it. But for this topic, if you say genotype, you are more closer home. Traits and physical appearance of an organism. What the genotype determines is what we see, and that is defined by the term phenotype. That only determines phenotype when its two copies are present in an organism. When two copies are present, it's a recessive allele. We did not do very well on this question, some of us. We'll come back to it when we are looking at a similar question to it. It will help us to understand. Next question. What we call the study of inheritance. The term that describes study of inheritance is genetics. So the study of inheritance is genetics. This is our first lesson. We did this on the first lesson. Study of genetic information from parents to offspring. I did get some good answers. Maybe my question missed one word. The study of the passing on. It was going to be easier for you. Maybe I'd put here the study of the passing on of genetic information from parents to offspring is inheritance. My apologies for that. An allele that is expressed in an organism in even if only one is present. Even if only one copy is present, that allele is the dominant one. Remember, we're talking about our B in B, or particular trait in C. So if one of it is present, then it's expressed. Okay? Which means it will be the dominant. It won't be expressed, it won't be dominant if the traits for B are expressed. It won't be the dominant. An expression a term that describes the condition when both alleles are the same. I hope you are not getting confused. When both alleles are the same, what term do you use to describe that condition? And I give an example of D, which means it's homozygous condition. Okay. Next question. You did well on this one. Next question. A term that describes the condition when both alleles are different. It's homo. It's heterozygous and B. When both are different. All right, so we get B and B. We got B, B. Next question. A section or a segment of a DNA that codes for a particular protein is a gene. A situation when an intermediate or in between variation is produced when condition is heterozygous. We did this last lesson plus the other lesson. It's an incomplete dominant situation. In between. An offspring of two homozygous parents, it's a purebred. Mendel's purebred species Y and red. PB, small b, we get a purebred. But if we get a mixture, a situation when two alleles of a gene are both fully expressed in a phenotype. A situation when two alleles of a gene are both fully expressed in a phenotype is complete dominant. Why did I write it? Sorry, it's co-dominant. Sorry for put this one. It's co-dominant. A pink flower and a white flower, they produce a flower with both pink and white flowers. White is dominant, white is dominant, so it's pink on the offspring. That's a co-dominant situation. All right. Good. Let's look at the last question. The last question says, okay, generation bred from homozygous parents with the different alleles in Mendelian expression, homozygous from Mendel's experiments. They give us what we call the F1 generation. So you find out that your answer could be recorded as wrong if you write in full F1 generation because my instruction was one word answers. So but if you write F1, it was correct. Thank you very much, great girls. Thank you. Let's move on to today's lesson. Nothing different. We are continuing. We ended here last time. We talked about codominance. We talked about incomplete dominance. Quickly, we said when it's an incomplete dominant situation, alleles of a gene do not show complete dominance over the other. Dominance or recessiveness. Rather, the heterozygous condition, which is the offspring, is an in-between. It lies in the homozygous phenotypes of its parent that we now know. We did give an example of pink flowers, and we're going to work an example again today. We did work this example, pink and white, and I emphasize the need to still maintain the use of the same letter. Neither dominance nor recessiveness. Fine. For consistency, we are dealing with the same gene here, the same gene for color of the flower. So we still maintain the same letters. I did emphasize that. Okay. And I'm sure you still put a curtain on this one. All right. Okay. And it's a heterozygous condition of all pink. Let's move on to the next question. No, we did cover that. Now, I promise that we should now look at what happens with codominance. That's what we are moving to. But in the first scenario, we crossed the two pink flowers. We look in heterozygous condition. And since it's an incomplete dominant, we get one red, one pink, one white. We talked about this, you still remember? Let's move on. We were at codominance. We did describe that in codominance, the two different alleles of the same gene both fully express themselves. They don't blend and form a different item, but they fully express. If I'm white, you should see my whiteness in the, if I'm black, the blackness is there in white. And I gave it happens in plants and animals. Codominance takes place in both plants and animals. And with me here, I gave an example of codominance in blood groups found in humans. And I remember saying this one, this example I gave, it would also lead us to the topic of multiple alleles. That's what we're going to also look at, but multiple alleles. We've been looking at only a gene that is got two alleles or two variations, the dominant and the recessive. But we do have genes that do not always resemble this one. They've got more than two variations or more than two alleles. We find the great curves. All right. Before I get into multiple allelic interactions, let me do this. All right. Let's look at an example here that we can think of. Okay. Let us do it this way. All right. Let us work this example together. Here's a scenario that we can think of. Right. In dogs, I want us to work this one out. Sorry for that. Okay, let me just. My body is kind of misbehaving today. I don't know what's the problem. There it goes. Let me put it. We do have lots of space. Right. Let's try again. We've got this question. In dogs, the fair color shows dominance. In dog, fair color shows co-dominance. Black and tan. Those are my colors. Black and tan. So black shows co. Okay. I have a question for you. What will be? Come on. What will be the genotype? What will be the genotypes and phenotypes of the offsprings of the offsprings of a black and an dogs. In dogs, fair color shows codominance, which is black. And if I can put these in brackets, these are the two colors. Okay, let me leave it. My body is misbehaving today. My apology. Not cooperating. Okay, in dogs, fair color shows dominance. It's black and tan. Those are the colors. So neither tan nor black shows dominance or recessiveness over them. What will be the genotypes and phenotypes of the offspring of a black and tan dogs? Wonderful. I want us to solve this problem. What do we do? My body is taking long to respond. Okay. Gosh, it's all right. I am not going to do a draw screen. Okay, so what do we do? Let's solve this one. Let's choose our letters. Let B represent black and let B represent tan. Remember, we use these letters grade 12. Okay. Next one, parents phenotype. My parents' phenotypes are black and tan. We know the tan color. Right. Next, F1 genotype. What are my genotypes? Black, B, and B against tan. All right. What do I show next? Meiosis. I get B. I get B. I get a small b there. I get another small b there as well. Correct. Next, I show random fertilization using crosses. I think we have worked a lot of crosses. We should be comfortable. This B and this B, they give me B and B. Now we should know that if you cross homozygous scenarios, you get O heterozygous. Okay. But for the purpose of us learning properly, or some who are still behind, let me put all the possible combinations. All right. So we do get our possible genotypes. So we are starting to answer our question. Those are possible genotypes. Right. What will be our F1 phenotype? The second part of the question. Who can tell me the phenotype in a codominant scenario? They do possess both black and both black and which color is much more close to tan? Hope you see it. And tan colors. All right. So that's answering the question. What did the question say? What will be the phenotypes and genotype of the offspring? So you can go on to say all. Okay, that's my board. O F1 phenotype will be B and B. Sorry, genotype B and B. You've answered. O F1 phenotypes shows both leg and spots or colors, as long as you indicate that. So that's what you get in a dominant scenario. Tomorrow I'm giving you an assessment only on codominance and incomplete dominance. Okay, let's move on. Okay, we didn't put anything there. Right. I want to combine codominance and multiple allelic interactions. Right, and then we look specifically at human blood groups. Then we move on like that. When we say multiple interactions, we are simply saying it's not only two variations from a single gene is more than two variations. Multiple alleles refers to a situation whereby a characteristic is controlled by A. Please take note of the way we are using our terms. I don't want you to get confused. A characteristic is controlled by a gene that is more than two variations. More than two variations or alleles. We still need the term alleles. Such a characteristics includes blood groups, called color in mice. So for today, we are looking at an example of a multiple allelic interactions specific human blood groups. If we look at our page setter for grade 12, it needs us to understand what do we mean by human blood groups. Right. Let's look at human blood groups. The human blood groups has three alleles: A, P, and O. You see, it's different from the previous one. We were talking for the last example, we talked about color. No, it was fair color. Fair color, for an example, was controlled by a gene that has got two outcomes. Brown, it was black and tan. Great course. Even the previous, all our previous examples have been one gene with two alleles or two variations. Color with brown, sorry, with black and tan. But in this one, we have blood group. But we do not just have two groups. What do we have? On these blood groups, we have A group, we have got B, we have got O. But it's the same gene determines the blood group is still this. So it's still one gene, but more than 3 variations, more than 2, so to speak. So that's what we mean by multiple alleles or multiple allelic interact with someone to express it. Okay. So let's look at them. On all of these 3, A is dominant over O. A is dominant over O. B is dominant. Sorry. B is dominant over O. So Mrs. O or Mr. O is dominated by either A or B. Okay. But A and B are co-dominant. If you inherit a gene from A and B, which means you'll be black A. In other words, A and B are both expressed in the phenotype. Are we following it, grade 12? In this scenario, they are both expressed in the phenotype, which means any individual with A and B parents, the individual will be an AB. That's what we mean. They are show co-dominance. All right, let's look at the next item. Good. Human blood groups is continuous. I've got the table there that shows the post-blood genotypes as well as phenotypes. There's a notation that we use to denote blood groups genotypes. So I've got my table. On the first column, grade 12, it shows the genotype and the phenotype description, and then it shows there the phenotype. Good. So I've got genotype, I've got the description, I've got the blood group, which is the phenotype. Right. I wanted to do the rest of the table to get on your own. I will do it for you, the first one, and then I'll also do the second one. Should I? Okay. So the first one, we use a symbol of eyes and then a superscript when we are representing our blood groups. Okay. So in this case, blood group A and in a homozygous dominant blood group, and then the phenotype. So if it's A, the genotype of A, we write it like this. It's an accepted notation. We say A, so we put the big A, then we write the blood group A super. Since the genotype is supposed to be 2. So that's blood group A. Okay. All right. And then to state the phenotype now, it will be A. That's what we use. If it's blood group, B, we still denote it this way. Just to be proper, then we put B and B. What if it's blood group B in a heterozygous? Okay, let me just do it for you so that my question comes out nice. So it's A, it's B, we represent this way. But what if it's B and O? We write it the same way. So blood group O, we also put the I and the O. It's accepted. However, in some notations, you find out for O, they use I. So if it's O, they write it as I. No, like this. They write it as this, which means blood group O. Okay. So I want you to be familiar with this notation. Okay. A in a homozygous condition. Then how would the A look like in a heterozygous condition? So the A in the heterozygous condition would look like A and then O. So if you are solving problems that when the question give you a link or a clue that the A is homozygous or the A is heterozygous, it can only be heterozygous if it's a mixture. If A is not, if A is dominant over O, then that's when we write it as A, or like this. It means it's heterozygous, but the blood group remains A. It's homozygous, but we write it as A. You see how important is this when we are answering some. So I'll give you the next 3 minutes to complete all the blood groups. Write for me. Complete the table for me. I want you to continue. Write blood group B in homozygous condition. Write blood group B in heterozygous condition. Write for me blood group O. I'll give you the next 5 minutes to do that. So complete this table for me. Next 5 minutes. Welcome back, great schools. I'm sure you should be done by now. Let's see if you get it right. You should get it all right. For blood group B, where B is in a homozygous dominant condition, you write it as B and B, homozygous dominant for blood group B, and then the phenotype will still remain B. So did you get this right? I want to think so. Next one. If B is in a heterozygous condition, it's I and IO. You get it right and write heterozygous for blood group B. But what do we see as the phenotype? It's blood group B. It's very important. I know questions that involves they probe your understanding into these two. Is it homozygous B blood group or heterozygous? So I'll probe you with these. That's why I want you to get okay. Remember I said for genetics, we want to get all the marks, and indeed we'll get them. Here is the interesting scenario. If it's in a codominance condition, remember we said at the beginning, A and B are codominant. Neither A is B. So when we are writing the genotype, we should write them as. It doesn't mean if I start with A, then B is dominant. But to be consistent, maybe alphabetically, I'm saying you can write like this. It won't be wrong, but it's always easier and proper to start with A, right? But that's these two. So you should have written there A and B. And then for the description, you write codominance. And then blood group, it's AB. The last one. Homozygous recessive. Remember, O is a recessive allele for the blood group. How do we state it? It's I, of which I said you can find some text, they write I instead of /O or /O. And then it's homozygous recessive, giving us blood group O. Wonderful. This is what I want us to cover for today. Tomorrow, we will describe what does this A and B mean. You need to understand. So that's what we'll look at tomorrow. And then we'll solve problems that involves blood groups. And I'll give you other questions. I'll also give you a short assessment only on codominance and incomplete dominance. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. Thank you very much for joining me. We meet tomorrow at 10 o'clock. It's our first lesson. Enjoy the rest of your learning.